and I won't waste it.
Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM and welcome back to Growing the Dream. I do hope you're all doing very well and having a brilliant day. So you joined me pretty much not long after the last episode ended. As you can see, I'm currently out in the grass field that we mowed, and I'm just picking up the wrapped bales, loading them onto the trailer, and we're going to get them stowed away over in one of the sheds that we've got. Specifically this time we're going to be loading these into, we've got a little bit of a shed just over there on the other side of the hedge, next to what will be the sheep barn for when the sheep are lambing towards the winter time, I think. But yeah, we've got a bit of a shed. It's full of a bit of scrap at the minute, so what I'm going to do is just kind of remove that. I'd placed that down myself. That wasn't anything to do with Kim, that was me. Just filling up a shed full of crap that was just to make the farm look and feel like it had been kind of around for a while. You know, a lot of farms do have areas like that have just accumulated rubbish over time, like a bit of a bin area, I suppose. But yeah, I'm going to remove all of that and use that shed to stow these silage bales away, because I've already picked up the hay bales that we mowed again in the last episode in the grass field just over the up the hill there. That I've loaded them and stowed them away down by the dairy barn next to the straw bales, so that the straw and hay are next door to each other. I popped a couple of hay bales in the sheep pasture, so they're now well, the hay gives them 100% productivity, so hopefully in due course we'll start to see their productivity levels rise and hit that 100%, so that's all good. So yeah, there's a couple of bales up there and a couple of hay bales down by the dairy barn there, so we can start making some TMR. I do need to focus on that. I think what I'm going to have to do, because obviously these bales have only just been wrapped, so they're not going to be anywhere near fermented yet. And the cows, specifically the cows in the dairy barn, are very, very low on food. I think at the minute they've got about 840 or 880 litres left. Which, according to NX Modding's feed calculator mod, tells me we've only got a day left. So I do need to, as a matter of urgency, get that sorted. So just buy in a couple of loose bales of silage, and then we can get over here, get a bit of a mix sorted out for them, bit of total mix ration, and get them fed, and just keep them going for the next few days while these bales ferment. But onwards from that, we do have some work to crack on with. Of course, we have the poppy fields to harvest. I'm hoping to get that done today, and that will be the last of our current fields with anything in done, essentially. And then I can start really focusing on... Whoa, that's that was a bit sticky. It is quite difficult, I find, personally anyway, stacking bales on a trailer with the bale grab. Now, of course, I do have a bale spike, but I'm running the bale grab here because it's the correct thing to do. You don't want to be using a bale spike and spiking the wrapped bales, because then you're just unsealing the wrapping, essentially, and completely wasting your time. So, yeah, the right approach when you're handling wrapped bales is to use a grab like this, so you don't stick holes in them. But yeah, it's quite tough, especially when you're loading them up side by side, because you need to... I suppose the correct way to do it would be to kind of lay it down a little bit further away from the neighbouring bale and then shove it across, wouldn't it? Something like this. Let's give that a try, shall we? Do you know what? It's one of the... it is a very relaxing task, I find, in Farming Simulator, is loading bales onto a trailer. There's quite a skill in it, which I clearly haven't got. But yeah, something like that. But again, having to be mindful, you saw then how the telehandler kind of rolled towards the trailer a bit more, and that's as a direct result of the more realistic game engine mod that I'm running on this save. This is a mod that I think I need to and should be and probably will be running in just about every save game moving forward from now that I've got a little bit used to how it works. Just, it completely overhauls the physics of the game. So Whereas previously, if I remember correctly, you know, just running on a slight down incline like this on the field, the machine just kind of carries on rolling a lot more. There's a lot more inertia involved, I think. It feels that way anyway. So yeah, that's definitely a mod that I'm going to be running a lot more often. It's really quite cool. But yeah, it's just something else to be mindful of. So there we go. So yeah, we need to get these bales out the field. Once these bales are out the field, then these 3 fields are almost ready to get joined together. But I do need to get the logging done, don't I? We need to get those trees done and cut down. Obviously, as you can see, in between episodes, I have removed the hedges, just because it just meant spending a load of time in the construction menu that I didn't feel you guys would want to be bored with. It was just a case of deleting the hedges. But obviously, because of the way the hedges work on this particular save, a load of them are kind of joined together, and I only wanted to remove the bits that were in the middle of the fields and not remove all of the hedges that kind of ran around the perimeter of the fields as well. So just to make sure that I wasn't going to take a loss in that respect, in having to replace the hedges that I didn't want to remove back in the construction menu, just temporarily I did activate I've got a mod that allows for the free placement of hedges and fences, so I was able to remove the ones I didn't want and then place back the ones that I didn't want to initially get rid of. And yeah, so as you can see, we're exactly where we need to be, which is pretty cool. So what I'm going to do now is just crack on with this, get these bales picked up. We're going to then, I think what I'll need to do then, I'll get the bales loaded into the shed, get that stuff deleted from the shed so I can make the space to put the bales there. Go and buy in a couple of silage bales from the shop, throw a mix into the cows, and then crack on, I think, then with the poppy harvest and get them out the ground. And then we'll see where the episode has taken us from there, and how far along we are after that. So I'll crack on with this, and I'll see you very soon. Well, that was a bit of a faff, wasn't it? I kind of figured I'd just leave all that in so you can see the struggle for yourselves. But yeah, it's maybe this trailer's a little bit long for this farm in particular. I don't know, but yeah, That's kind of had to take the long way around there just so I could get in without the worry of bashing into things. But we're here now. This is what I want to get rid of. Just going to, like I said before, just delete it out the construction menu. So I think with a little bit of magic editing, there we go. Job done. So I think I'll do this off camera. I'll load all these things in here now and just let them sit away there for a little bit of time into the future, get fermenting, and then I'm going to go nip down to the shop, buy a couple of silage bales, and I'll pick you back up when we're down at the dairy barn, and we'll be getting a mix sorted out for the dairy cows here in the pasture. Get them fed a bit, because if I jump into the menus, I'll just show you where we're up to food-wise. Like I said before, they're particularly low. There we are, yeah. 449 litres left now, so yeah, we really do need to work on that and get it sorted ASAP. So, like I said, I'll get this done, and I'll see you shortly down at the dairy barn. Right, back at the farm now. Here we are. I've picked up 2 square bales. I went for the square bales. I mean, it really doesn't necessarily make too much of a difference, but because the price is almost identical. But it was just a case of being able to get 10,000 litres in 2 bales as opposed to several of the round bales, which are smaller. But yeah, the price works out exactly the same when you're buying it from the in-game menu. So yeah, there we go. So we've got and I can just about manage to pick the bale up with the grab here without me having to faff about and go and swap over to the bale spike. So let's chuck our first bale in and give these cows their first feed, eh? So just pull a bit more further forward. There we go. That should just drop in nicely. Lovely stuff. Let's go turn that on. It does have a bit of a jiggle, this one. Have you noticed that? Oh, it's automatically turned on. Oh, that'll do. Right, fair enough. But yeah, this feed mixer looks a little bit jiggly, doesn't it? Does anyone else use this mod? Does anyone else experience that with that one? It'd be interesting to know. But either way, it does what we want it to do. Making some total mix rations. So now we want a bale of hay, and then we'll fill it out, pad it out with a bit of straw. Now I have, one thing I have done, and this is just down to personal preference, I have removed the necessity for mineral feed from my total mixed ration recipe. It's just one of those things that we all have our own personal likes and dislikes, and for some reason, I don't know why, but mineral feed is just always something that I've never really bothered with in Farming Simulator. I think I did do something with it. Oh, whoa, catch that again. I think I did use mineral feed back on Court Farms in FARMERSIM 22, maybe, I think. But yeah, it's another expense, and I don't think it's entirely necessary, is it? I know it's, you know, it's part of the recipe for base game, I get that. And I've not given myself a huge amount of room here either, have I? Still, practice makes perfect, so let's swing this one around. Kind of want to try and get that one there without knocking others over. This is going to be fun. See, that's not going to work, is it? Let's pull that out a bit more. See if I can grab that there without knocking them all over. There we go, success. I don't know how well I've got that grabbed, but it's staying there, that's all that matters. Right. That should be us, I hope. Yeah, let that go. That should drop in nicely. Lovely stuff. Right, so let's get this thing out of the way. We'll just leave this here for now. I'm going to leave the other silage bale on the trailer for now. Don't need to worry too much about that. But this mix should give them enough food to see them through the next few days, I hope. So, pop the door on this beautiful barn. It is a cracker, this. Myself and Kim are massive fans of the MA7 assets. They are incredible mods, they really are. I love the worn and beaten textured look that a lot of them have. Right then, so how's this mix doing? Do you need to bring up... Oh, look at that. Bang on. Absolutely bang on. Perfect stuff. One bale of each. I think there probably will be a bit of straw left over, won't there? But that's fine. we can leave that in there till next time. So let's pop in here. And there's the trigger. Have I got it on the right side? I can't remember if I can... No. Oh, tip side left. I want tip side right. Yeah, that's better. There we are. Let's get out and have a look. Forgot to open the door. Yeah, there's that straw bale. Yeah, it's a bit of a... That's not quite right, is it? The straw bale's just jiggling around inside, but... I've got it unloading. The food level's rising. As I say, I did, if you have a look in the bottom right-hand corner there... excuse me. I did amend the capacity of this barn in total, food-wise, to 15,000 litres before the last episode. Like I said, I just wanted to bring it down to a more realistic level, I think, just to make sure that I had enough to do and to keep me doing it regularly, because I think previously it said I had about 9 months of food in here, so I didn't think that was particularly realistic. But nonetheless, this should fill us right up, shouldn't it? 12,000. Yeah, this should take it right to the top. Just counting down what's left in the forage mixer. There we go. So we've still got just under 4,500 litres of forage left in here as well. And now that the straw bale should have broken down, it does actually show that we've got a bit too much straw in here for the mix, doesn't it? So, and that's why it's turned to forage and not total mixed ration. But that's all good. We should be able to sort that out come the next feed. Throw another bale of hay. And the other bale of silage in there, and that should be good to go, I think. I hope. So, there we are. Right then. Excellent. The cows have had their first feed. That's all that matters. They're all good. In fact, while we're here, let's just jump into the menus and have a quick peek at where they're up to now and how long I've got. 1 month and 4 days. Okay, well, again, it still seems a little bit long in my book, maybe, but it is what it is. I can only do so much faffing around when it comes to amending the totals that we have in the barn, but that's all good. It's fine. So, now that's done, I think the next job that I should focus on is sorting out the poppies. We need to get on with a bit more of a harvest. Now, I think I've just gone and left everything in the way, haven't I, here? The trailer's in the way and the telehandler's in the way of me putting this thing back in there. So I shall, again, faff around for a few minutes, get all this sorted out where it needs to be, back to the farm, and we'll get sorting the poppies. Right, there we go, almost sorted now. I've sent the Massey Ferguson with the header trailer and grain header up to field 10. That's where we're going to make a start. We've got 2 fields of poppies to harvest. Field 10 is the largest, so we're going to make a start with that one, and we'll crack on with the smaller one afterwards. But yeah, just sorted that out. Got the grain trailer attached to the John Deere there, and the next thing I need to do is we're just going to give this, I think is the right procedure to do it. We'll give it another quick visual inspection, make sure everything seems okay from the outset before we start it. But one thing I did want to touch base on, as I've tried to do a couple of times throughout the series so far, is just bring to light another mod that I'm running on this series. Now, of course, like I'm sure most of you are aware, almost all of the mods that I've got running on this series are focusing on realism, whether that's crops, crops, grains, animals, machinery, physics, weather, moisture, you name it. I've tried to get hold of as many of them as possible in order to make this series as realistic as possible. I say realistic in inverted commas because it's a simulation game, but you know what I mean. You see where I'm going. But and we've been so lucky for such a long time now, especially in the last few months in Farming Simulator 25. We've been inundated with some incredibly clever and ingenious mods that have quite literally, for me anyway, changed the game, how we play the game, the approach, the way we have to plan things and think about things. It's literally changed the game, and it's incredible. And one of the other mods that I've got running, that I've had running since the very beginning of this series, is a cracking little mod called Human Factors by my good mate and fellow content creator, Kartek. Now, what Human Factors does is it brings to light a little bit more realism regarding us as a character, as a human being, I suppose, because we get tired, we get hungry, we need to sleep, fatigue, and all that kind of stuff. And we've... as far as I'm aware, we've not really had any mods that focus on that, and I think this is a very, very clever little thing. I will post a link to Kartek's YouTube channel in the Discord, in the video description below, and of course I'll post a link to the mod as well over on the mod hub. But it's just a cracking little work of genius that, just like I say, just brings a little bit of realism and a little bit more thought that to be given towards us as a character. And it means we need to eat. Now, one of the things, I'm going to overlay an image here now, because this is a screenshot I took of when I started this recording earlier this morning. I was met with a message in the top right hand corner saying, "You are hungry, you should eat something." And it was that reminded me that just to make sure I make a little point of having a little bit of a chat with you about this particular mod. And it's brilliant. So essentially, what I want to do is I want to press 0 in this instance, and it brings up a little heads-up display, which means for £10 I can give myself a small meal, and that will offer a 50% reset to my hunger levels, or I can have a light snack for £5, and that will reset my hunger levels to 20%. So, and again, it's a little bit of realism, doesn't it? We get hungry, I have a small meal, that's going to reset myself by my hunger levels by 50%. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. There we go. I ate a small meal and it's cost me £10. Admittedly, yes, I know I'm not sat at a dinner table or anything, but I'm in the middle of trying to crack on for it with a harvest. So that's all we're eating on the go here. But yeah, it's a cracking little mod. Now, jumping quickly into the settings menu where you'll find the settings for human factors. You go to game settings, scroll all the way down, and there we go. So you've got the options to bring up a heads-up display. You can enable fatigue, hunger, wages, or thirst. Now, I've turned fatigue off, and that's purely because of it's something that had me completely confused when I was setting up this save at the very beginning, and I was creating my auto drive network, and I was also creating the opening cinematic introduction to this series. The screen was getting darker over time because I'd been in the game for quite a few hours making my auto drive network. The screen was getting physically darker, and I didn't know what was going on. And at the time, I thought, because I hadn't used human factors before, at the time I thought that there was something going horribly wrong. Oh, there we go. Slightly dry lubrication levels. That was a very helpful thing to do before cracking on with the job. So we'll do that. Let's bring up my... There we are. So, in fact, we'll pop that away for now, because what I do want to do is just open it up a bit. Again, for a touch of realism. I don't need to put that in there. Oh, I can put my chainsaw in there, can't I? That's a good idea. But yeah, I was getting properly confused with what was going on with the screen. Why is it not it's not apply grease? Are you going to let me apply grease? There we go. That's better. I was waiting for the sound. Right, so is that done? Just bring that back up again. And now it's not. Ah. Why is it not? Maybe I just need to walk away from the machine and come back again. Just to give it that quick visual inspection again and make sure that the lubrication levels... Inspection cancelled? What do you mean inspection cancelled? There we go. That's better. Sorry. I've had that happen a couple of times before where the button just hasn't kind of responded. I'm not too sure why. Right, there we go. All good. That's good. But yeah, like I say, the screen was getting darker and it was confusing the living heck out of me, and I didn't know what was going on. But it was fatigue of human factors. That's essentially what it was. It was a visual clue that my character was getting tired and needed to sleep, essentially. So once I'd figured that out, I gave us, I was. It just amazed me really, because it was really cool. But at the time, I'd disabled it because I was trying to take screenshots and make a opening cinematic, and I couldn't understand why the screen was so dark. So yeah, I've disabled fatigue, but I've got all the other things enabled. So it's really cool just having to eat some food, whether it's a small or a slightly larger meal for a small amount of money. You can also take a drink as well. And it's just really, really cool. So again, if you're looking to add realism to your save games, I highly recommend throwing in human factors with there as well, because I think it just adds that extra touch of detail for us as a character, as a human, as it were. Like I say, we've had so many incredible mods that focus on the mechanics of the game, for work that we're doing in fields and all that kind of stuff, but we haven't really had anything that focuses on us as a character. So we have now. Many thanks to Cartech for that one. So yeah, cracking mod, Cartech, mate. Awesome work. If you are watching, buddy, hope you're well. So there we go. Right, so I'm going to get cracking now with this. There's our second field of poppies just on the other side of the hedge there. I think when it comes to the tree felling work that I'm going to do. I think we'll probably leave that till the next episode before we crack on with that, because there's a little bit more detail and information I want to go into with that. Obviously, I did touch base on it in the last episode, but of course, I've got red tape running, so I essentially I could receive a little bit of a fine if I was to just chop all those trees down and consider that job done. That could affect me negatively financially, so as a result of having to consider that as well, I need to consider replanting some trees as well, just to keep myself balanced in that respect. So there's a little bit more work and time and thought and potentially money involved in sorting that out, so we'll be leaving that till the next episode. But like I say, I need to get these poppies out of the ground, and then that's everything out of our fields for this year, and then we can focus on turning the fields around for next year. There's a few fields I don't have to be in too much of a rush for. We've got oats that I want to plant. That's going to be March and April next year. We've got, I'm trying to consult my list in front of me and drive in a straight line. I'm going to plant some canola in field 38, but that doesn't happen until we can plant in April and May, or September and October. So I think I might just hold back on that one and do them in April or May, sorry. The mint I want to get planted, that I want to plant in field 27, we'll be planting that in March, and the lavender that I want to plant in field 34, we're going to be planting that in May or June. So yeah, there's a little bit of time. So the first fields that I need to deal with as a matter of urgency, I suppose, are the grass fields. Get them joined together, get some grass planted, and hopefully we'll get a cut at the beginning of December, at the beginning of the winter, before it gets too cold. And that should hopefully give us a decent backlog of silage eventually to sort the cows out for their feed during winter. So I do have some kind of a plan, and I do love it up here. It's a beautiful little plot on the map, this lovely little old house and barn setup, courtyard and all that. It's really, really quite nice. So here we are. Obviously, I didn't want to be driving down the road with my header attached, so let's take it nice and slow. There we go. Just get right up to there. Yep, let's get that picked up. Right, there's that. Let's pull back a bit. Don't want to hit the wall. I think we might be all right there. There we are. Okay, lovely stuff. Let's pop out. I need to have to do a bit of jiggery poker here, aren't I? I'm going to have to pull the header trailer forward, but if I get the PTO attached there, that's all good. Let's jump in the Massey and pull this out the way. I'll just have to hug this up to the wall here on the left hand side for now, so that I don't destroy too much crop. I did destroy a tiny little bit along the edge here when I pulled it into the field not long ago, but I think we just very carefully move forward. That'll do, I think. Although pulling up to on the verge here doesn't give me a huge amount of space to get out, does it? But we'll be fine. There's that. I might get a bit of a... Yeah, I'm on the wall here, aren't I? Brilliant. In fact, what am I doing, silly boy? I need to turn the engine off first, don't I? I'm not going to leave that running all this time, goodness me. There we go. Let's have to do it from the wall, won't we? Shut the door there. Why aren't you working there? And now I'm stuck. Just trying to get the door latch trigger thing. There we go, that's better. That's better. Right then, okay. So... in we get. This will be the last harvest of the year. Close the door. I'm sure I've done everything there, haven't I? I think. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so drop that header down. Get rid of them. Need to unfold the harvester. Should have done that from the trigger as well, shouldn't I? So many things to remember. Right, let's get you on. Let's get you on. Now, I don't know. I've got the enable straw swath on. But I don't know if we get straw from poppies. I've got absolutely no idea. Oh, and of course I need to bring up my realistic harvesting menu to make sure I'm configured for poppies. Can't forget that, can we? So, poppies, there we are. Okay. Speed at 940, so what's going on there? Well, let's just see what happens there. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if we get straw from poppies. We shall find out. Never done poppies before in Farming Simulator. Oh, now what does that mean there? Got a red 12.6, haven't we? What does that refer to? Speed losses at 12.6%. I'm not too sure what that refers to, do you know? But they do seem to be rolling quite fast. Yeah, I don't know what that refers to. Should do though, shouldn't I? But let me just have a look behind us and see if we do get any straw swath off of poppies or not. Nope, doesn't look like we do. But that's fine. We should be alright for straw on the farm anyway. Right then, let's get cracking with this. Get these poppies done. I'll throw some music behind this job, crack on for the next couple of hours. And I'll see you all soon. Just jump in very quickly. I've just figured all this. If you remember, I was looking at this combine setting menu there, and we had a loss there of something like 12%. Adjusting all the fan speeds, upper sieves and lower sieves, and the concave clearance here, I've been able to bring that loss down to 0%. I'm not sure if that's going to make a difference to to this icon here. If I bring this out here, and just, yeah, we're still showing losses. Oh no, you see, there we go. There we go. 0%. Yeah, that's not so bad. Now, it does seem to say that we've got the moisture percentage there at 9.9%. I think that could be moisture. But as far as setting up the combine harvester goes with realistic harvesting, I think I've got it dialed there, so that's great. Dead happy with that. So, yeah, there we go. It's all good. So, like I did say I was going to do before, let's get cracking. And I'll see you soon.
Rolling down the road, riding on the storm, living like I'm dying slow. Headlights in the fast lane is my home away from home. If there's light after this tunnel, I'm gonna be the first to know. No slowing down, no looking back, no staying for a while. I'm pedaled down and right on track. I'm ready for this ride, I'm running wild. Ride the lightning, run on empty in the ring of fire. Rolling like Mississippi, your mama tried. And I got bad down to my bones. Don't know where I'm gonna go, oh, sweet child. I'm running wild. I'm running wild. Yeah, I'm running wild. Oh, I'm running wild. I'm running wild.
Right then, job done. There we go, folks. And what do you know? You do get straw from poppies. It would have helped if I'd actually enabled the straw swath while I was driving the combine there. But Yeah, we do get straw, so that's good. So that does open up possibly another opportunity for possibly to make a little bit of money. Firstly, I'm hoping we're probably going to get like almost a full trailer of these poppies here. We didn't get a huge amount, so I think we had what we had left in the hopper here from finishing this field. This is both the fields done now. Yeah, there we go. We did almost fill the trailer, so let's just turn this off for now, because I am keen to have a bit of a look and see exactly what we've got here, money-wise anyway. I think the best time for selling poppies is January, I think. But, like I say, yeah, the opportunity to make a little bit of money, because we've got now on the farm north of 600,000 litres of straw currently. Let me just jump into time-saving stock check and just see where we're at now. Where are we? There we are. So, straw. 678,944 litres. I don't think that takes into doesn't take into consideration, sorry, the straw that we've currently got in these two fields. That's just what we've got in bale format, I think. So we do have an opportunity, I think, to make a little bit of money. I might sell some of that straw, you see. Again, just to top up the bank a little bit. It won't be a huge amount of money, but I'm relatively confident that we've got enough straw in that 600,000 litres to see us through a little bit of time. So, yeah, I'm just thinking on the fly here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just trying to plan things, as it were. So, maybe I do, maybe I don't. But at the minute, I think it might be a good idea just to get that lot baled up, and yeah, just sell them, make a little bit of money, because we've still got a decent chunk of straw bales stashed away from the last couple of harvests. But right, so. I need to line myself up here, don't I? It's tough when you're doing it in reverse, it really is, but I'm just going to reverse by braille here, there we go. Should get the trigger somewhere around there. There we are, lovely stuff, that'll do. So, let's chuck that in the silo, and then stock check will then give us a rundown on what it's worth. Like I say, I think best sell time is January. But obviously, I've got the moisture mod running, so I do need to keep in mind the quality and condition of these crops as they're sitting away in the silo here. The latest version of the moisture mod does offer the opportunity to dry the grain if it gets too wet. But right, there we go. Let's turn that off for now. That'll do. Let's jump out and just have a bit of a look in the menus. So where are we? Poppies. Just under 20,000 litres, currently worth 7 grand, max value just under 9.5 grand. So that's not so bad, and yes, it's January. So what have we got there in January? We have got 6,700 litres, 6,700 pounds worth of barley, 9,500 pounds worth of poppies, and 20,600 pounds worth of linseed. Okay, so what we got there, that's 27, 37 grand, give or take a bit. That's not so bad, is it? That'll do. Oh, and the wheat, of course, 40 grand, give or take a bit. 40 grand's worth of grain. We do need to keep a bit of wheat back for the chickens, but they go through hardly any, so I'll just be able to leave a couple of thousand litres in there. But yeah, give or take a bit, 40 grand. That's not so bad at all, I don't think. So that'll be a welcome addition to the bank account come January for definite. But yeah, like I say, I need to keep an eye on the moisture levels and the quality of those grains in the silo over the coming months. But yeah, so we've got a bit of straw to pick up there. And I think in the next episode, the plan is at the minute anyway, before I've even got there, I think the first thing I need to do, we'll get the straw picked up, and then we will focus on the tree work, get the trees felled, which will mean leasing potentially one of those, is it Typhoon, I think I'm pronouncing it correctly, one of those bits of the logging equipment that you can use that has a winch rope on board and stuff, so you can move the logs around, possibly something to attach to the telehandler so I can pick up those logs. I have been toying with the idea of, like I did mention before, that the Richard Weston flatbed trailer that I've got on the farm maybe feels a little bit big and long for this farm, just with the narrow lanes and the manoeuvring in and out of the areas, like I demonstrated quite clearly but earlier on. So I might consider swapping that out, but I might leave it until I've at least done the trees, because I'll be able to get quite a few logs on there potentially. But yeah, so we'll get the straw baled up, fell the trees. Potentially also need to keep in mind, like I said earlier, about the red tape mod and the potential fines that I might receive as a result of felling those trees. So in order to balance that, I'll need to lease a tree planter and also a couple of pallets of tree saplings, and then maybe find somewhere to plant a few trees on my land. I'm not too sure where that would be at the minute, so that would need to have a bit of thought and consideration. I could probably plant a couple in the animal pastures, couldn't I? But I don't just want to plant trees willy-nilly here, there and everywhere just for the sake of balancing things out. They have to be in the right place, don't they? And I don't really have any spare land, as it were. The only land, like I say, I can think of is popping a couple in the sheep pasture over there, perhaps, and the Hereford pasture, and also the dairy pasture down there. So depending on how many we fell will depend on how many we plant again afterwards. So that's something to consider anyway, bear in mind, and just plan for the future in that respect. But I think for today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to call it here. We've got a bit done. We've got a bit more straw, of course. That's something to deal with in the next episode. I think I need to give the combine another quick inspection, and certainly the John Deere as well. But yeah, we've got a bit done, and we're a little bit closer to being able to getting these fields kind of tied together, and then we can get moving forward with the whole big plan of bringing these fields together. The ones over the hedge there, and also the ones on the other side of the farm over there, once we've got the mint out the field next month. So yeah, lots to do, lots to think about, lots to plan, but I have thoroughly enjoyed this one, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode too. So thank you very much for watching. I really do hope you have enjoyed this video and found it a little bit of fun and a little bit interesting. If you're new to the channel and you like my content, you like the way I'm doing things, please consider hitting that subscribe button and jumping on board, joining the channel. Please give the video a like as well if you can. It does do wonders, helps the YouTube algorithm do its thing. And if you like the idea of supporting the channel, there are a couple of ways you can do that. There is my Giants Partner promo code. If any of you are in the market for purchasing Farming Simulator 25 or any of its add-ons or DLCs, there's coffee.com if you'd like to buy me a coffee. And there is also my G-Portal affiliate link if any of you are in the market for an online server to play with your mates. Any help and support there, ladies and gentlemen, would be massively appreciated. So, thanks again for your time, folks. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.